Yeah, so totally. And sometimes I'm working by at night and I'm just like, I need to go to bed. Like it's just I have to go to bed, but I would like to just stay up all night and keep
Yeah.
going because I have this and that in my mind. And when I was having that like proper job, like the 9 to 5 job, I totally felt like I was in jail. Like
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Megan and Steve here with Hustling for Excellence. If you're new to our channel, please be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to leave us some comments below at some point during the video. Let us know what you think. And as always, remember to click the bell so you're notified next time we post content. Today on our channel, we are doing an interview here with Marie Christine Picard. She is an entrepreneur, and more excitingly, she is a kite surfer. She has found a way to turn her passion and her hobby into a profitable business. Marie, give us a little background on yourself, if you would.
yeah, I started my online business about a year ago, but I wanted to make sure I could join like my passion of entrepreneurship with kite surfing. So I decided to build my niche around my ultimate passion, which is kite surfing. So I've been kite surfing for almost 12 years now. I started when I was traveling in New Zealand back in 2009, and I knew it was going to become mostly like almost an obsession, but mostly a passion. So as soon as I touched a kite, I was just like, oh my God, I just want to kite surf as much as I can. So now I'm really happy I can share my passion. And yeah, I'm really happy on my YouTube channel. I just share some tips and tricks if people want to start that and try to just change the pattern of like everybody thinks that it's a really dangerous sport. I just want to like open that sport to all the people that would like to practice that.
So it's interesting because before we started watching your videos, I thought I knew what kite surfing was, but I had the wrong image in my head at all. So how did you come across kite surfing?
How I started, how
Mm-hmm.
I just actually I saw people on TV doing kite surfing, and I saw people on beaches. I was in Australia as well, and it was just like it looks so much fun. And I was already like wakeboarding, snowboarding, and like I was already into sports a lot. And I was just like, that could be so awesome to do like wakeboard, but without a boat because I'm a lot like about environmental stuff. So I was just like, that would be so awesome to just get pulled by the wind and not by a boat. So I just really, I knew I wanted to try that.
That's awesome. I didn't realize you were such an adventure sports junkie. Surfing and kite surfing and snowboarding, and I was like, oh wow, she's into all of this. So that's awesome. And so I know you have some kids, right? So you have a business, you have all these things going on. Kind of wondering to see how is it you are able to like manage all that? What are your tips and tricks for that?
That's what a lot of people are asking me
Yeah.
because yeah, I have twins. They're 5, and I have a little girl. She's gonna turn 3 next week. So it takes a lot of time, and I'm mostly building my online business in order to have more time with them and more freedom. So they're always in my mind when I'm just putting some time in my online business. So what I started is that I started just wake up earlier than before, maybe an hour earlier. So I wake up early in the morning. I really have time just for myself, and I can really focus on what I have to do for my day, for my online business. And I'm also having like this consulting company and environment. So I can just manage my time as much as I want. So during the day, if I'm just like, oh, I have something in my mind I really want to do about my online business, I just like put some work aside and I just switch to something else. So that's the kind of freedom I offered myself when I decided to start my consulting company and my online business. I was just like, I need to be able to manage my own time. So when I'm done with my day, I can go get the kids, and we spend some time together and we put them to bed. And sometimes I start working again and I don't feel like it's work because I feel more like it's my project. Like I'm just working on my ideals, and I'm working on new ideas, and I really want to put things into work and into places. So I don't feel like it's work. So it's more like, okay, I put the kids to bed. I make sure like they're okay. They're feeling like safe and good. And then I go back to my project, and I'm just like, oh, let's put that and this. And yeah, so I don't feel like it's really working.
Yeah, that is so true. I mean, I didn't want to cut you off, but I was just like, that's the way I feel about it. It's, it's really not work in the traditional sense of got to drive here, got to sit at a desk and do all those things. You're able to, like you said, just, put the kids, put them to bed and then go right back into it and I feel creative a lot of times, like I'm like, oh, wow, I got this idea and trying to, because again, it's all about for us all. And I'm sure yourself, you're trying to get out that passion and that love for what it is, you want to share. So it's not work. Yeah. So
exactly. That's what I was going to say, like Steve and I will sit together in the evening. So it's usually when we have the time together to work on our business, and next thing you know, 3, maybe 4 hours has gone by, and we're like, wow, look at all we did. And it feels so good. And you don't realize the time. You're not tired. I think too many people think, oh God, starting a business is going to be so difficult and such long hours. And yeah, there's going to be some sacrifice and there's going to be some of that, but you don't really view it as that. I don't believe you're working to promote something that you are passionate about, as you are doing.
Yeah. So totally. And sometimes I'm working by at night, and I'm just like, I need to go to bed. Like, it's just, I have to go to bed, but I would like to just stay up all night and keep going because I have this and that in my mind. And when I was having that like proper job, like the 9-to-5 job, I totally felt like I was in jail. Like I was just like, okay, I'm going there and I have to work from this hour to this hour, and then I can live my life. But now I'm just like, I have to do tasks in order to go forward and to push my things forward. And it's just like, if I do them like just quicker, and then I can go kite surfing actually if all things are done. So that's the main thing. That's the main goal. Or I go for a run, or I just go for a bike ride. So it's all the freedom that you can get with that building your own online business.
That's awesome. And, I noticed too, like you're super active physically, which, same as us. And I feel like that just, it feeds the energy, right? Like you get energy, and it's just like, yeah, you're constantly doing something. You're out, like you said, you're out for a run, or you're kite surfing, or you're out biking, or you take the kids for a walk or hiking, or all these things. It's like, that's just, it's exercise, and it just I feel like it invigorates me when I do all these things, right? It's like, so that's awesome that you were able to do all those things. And I noticed you said also in the morning you take care of yourself. Is that, do you do your maybe some reading at that time, or meditation, or what is it that you kind of do that gets you set and centered for the day?
Actually now summer is like happening in Quebec. So it's finally happening. But yeah, I really like in the morning to go for a run, and people might like think that I'm crazy, but sometimes I wake up at 5, and I have all my things ready to go for a run, and I just go for a run in the morning, and I'm alone, and we have a lot of deers here in my city. So I just do some like sightseeing, and it's just like I come back home after like 30 minutes running, and I'm just like, oh, it feels so good. And I have energy for the rest of the day. And I'm just like, now I can really focus. But sometimes I wake up, and the night before, I just like set some things in my mind. I'm just like, I need to do this and that. And that's the reason why I'm going to wake up early. Like I'm not waking up early to just scroll my Instagram. Like I'm waking up early because I have really things like I have a video I want to put online. I want to like share that video to the world. And so I wake up with goals, and I'm working a lot with Post-its. It's really like in the 80s we were working with Post-its.
I am a kinesthetic person, so I love, if I'm not writing it down, I don't feel like I really did it. Typing for me does not.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Post-its all over the place.
Okay. So I always have I have my weekly checklist, but then every day I'm just like, okay, I need to do this, that, and it can be like something that is really not related to work. But if I do it, I'm just like, okay, check, it's done. And I feel like, woo-hoo, I'm doing so much in my day. So so I'm working a lot with Post-its, and at the end of the day, you take your Post-it, everything is checked, and you put it in the rubbish bin, and then you're ready to, like, you feel like you've done what you had to do, even though like your checklist is super full still, but you've done what you had to do for your day.
I love that.
Yeah, that is so funny because I'm just like, I've been trying to move everything to the computer, and we share all these different calendars and whatnot, but it's just like, and then I'll come downstairs and I'm like, oh, there's like Post-it notes everywhere. I'm like, okay, I guess you didn't check that calendar. So.
Yeah, I have my little booklet. Like it's like $2. It's at the dollar shop, and I have Post-its, and it's I need that.
Right.
Like we try to go paper free, but I need some.
Yeah,
like
if it works for you, that's what's important. You found out what works for you and what works best. So it's kind of like, hey, go with it, right?
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Go ahead.
I love that you said the G word before. That scares so many people, goals, because so many people are, I think just don't know how to set proper goals. So I love what you said though about how you kind of think about that the night before. So when you get up in the morning, you're already basically started, like what your goals are and what you have to do for the day. And I think that's awesome that you do that.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about kite surfing, right? I've never done it. I've done some fun stuff, skydiving and other things, but I mean, I don't know. I've seen people do it. I've watched your videos. But I'm just like, so is it an expensive sport to get into? Like, I'm brand new. I never did it. Are there schools out there I can go learn from, or can I watch your channel? And as long as I watch Marie's channel, I'm good. Like what do you recommend for a newbie like me?
I'd say that my channel is a good start, but you have to go out there and try it out because it's really like something to feel the wind pulling you. So I'd say that the learning curve is very, very different from someone to another. Like I used to be a kite surf instructor, and I had some people struggling for like 10 hours just to control the kite. And I had some people that were riding after like 3 hours. So it really, really depends on your like general skills of like controlling the kite, controlling your body. Like some people are more aware of that. But I'd say that it's super important to find a proper school in order to stay safe. And I say that in most of my videos, like it's always safety first, because you can find a lot of kite surf fail videos out there, and you don't want to be part of these videos. And I know some people that were really, really aware of all the dangers, and they still made some major fails, and they ended up at the hospital. But it's like really like some really unique people. But if you take a proper course with a good instructor, he's really or she's really going to show you exactly what you need to do in order to stay safe. And you have to put some time. And we were talking about that before, like you need to put some time, because if you're just taking a kite surf lesson because you're on holiday in Aruba, and then like 2 years after, you're just like, yay, I'm a kite surfer because I took a class 2 years ago. No, it's not working like that. You really have to practice. Like when I got started, I was in New Zealand. It was like really a kite surf paradise. I'm dreaming about going back there. It was like flat water. And the spot was really, really safe. It was shallow. And I stayed there for like 3 weeks or a month. And even after a month, I was still like practicing. Like I needed to like know the feelings and everything. So yeah, I really have to take a class, and it depends on like everybody's different and more at ease or not on the water. Here in Quebec, we say to people, if they want to start kite surfing, suggest them to start during winter time, because it's really, really easier, because you don't have to struggle with the water. Like some people are afraid in the water, or you have water in your nose and your face, and then you just struggle. But like when you're just sitting on the snow, you have a lot of space on the lake. If something happens, you just walk. You're not like in the water. Right. So yeah, we suggest to start on snow. But if you're like living in Aruba or I don't know, in Vietnam, then you go in the water. You don't have any other option.
Right.
That's really interesting. I never would have thought about that. Yeah. Doing it in winter on the snow.
Yeah.
But you made that was really interesting what you said about having like the water in your face and your nose, because I know like a lot of us with contacts, I'd be like, oh my God, did I lose a contact or something in the water?
Yeah, I used to have contact, and sometimes you have it like right at the corner of your eye, and then you just don't see anything anymore, and you're just like, oh no, what am I doing? So you just go back to shore, you don't see anything, and you're just like, I need to find my contact. It's something.
Yeah, that's so funny because that's interesting. I mean, I agree with you 100% because when you said when you're on like vacation or on holiday and you go take a course, right? You can get scuba diving, you can go get certified in a couple hours. You can go do all these things, and then you don't do it for 5 years, and you go back and try it, and then that usually ends up in one of those fails. So it's, but that's interesting. You mentioned a bunch of different places. So you've been Australia, New Zealand. Were you kite surfing and all? I know you were in New Zealand, but Australia and all around. I mean, do you travel just to kite surf as well?
No, actually, I traveled a lot in my 20s, but I started kite surfing when I was 26. Yeah. It was at the end of a year trip. I was traveling on my own for a year in New Zealand and Australia. And so at the end, I was just like, okay, I found a school. I'm just going there and I'm taking classes. And then I just kept going. Like I came back in wintertime in Canada. And I was still a really full beginner at kite surfing. And then there's a like amazing kite surf spot in Quebec. It's an island. It's called Magdalen Islands. And it's like a kite surf paradise. And I've traveled a lot for kite surfing. And I'm always like, Magdalen Island is better. It's like the water is cold. You're not like, you need a wetsuit, but it's so awesome and it's super safe and it's like it's paradise. But yeah, like I met my boyfriend and he had really bad experience with kite surfing classes, and we were not together at that time, and he was really feeling like super scared, and I was just like, it's gonna be fine. And I taught him how to like feel safe with kite surfing and snow kiting. And then we started to travel to places where we could kite surf. So we were both travelers, and we were just like, okay, now let's find some, like, we're going to choose our destinations for places where we can have wind and warm water and awesome kite surf spots. We have a book. It's like the windsurfing and kite surfing world guide, something like that. I really like to look in a book and see like, oh yeah, this spot is good. It's fine. Like, you can find all this on the internet, but having that book is really cool. So yeah, we travel in Cayman Islands, and I went to Peru and Ecuador, and we've been to Costa Rica as well with the kids. Different spots where we could kite surf.
That is really cool.
That's great that you're able to, still do a lot of traveling, especially because I think so many people get into the idea of like an online or internet business because they want to be able to, do their, their business from anywhere. So to that aspect of, you really have taken like your hobby and turned that into your business. And I think so many people think, oh, well, I have this hobby, but I can't possibly monetize that. But obviously that can be done. And you know what, actually, anyone watching, I'm going to throw a challenge out there. Throw us a comment. If you've got a hobby or a passion that you think you can't turn into a business, put it down there, and we're going to prove to you that we can do it, that you can make that happen. So because like Marie has done, you can turn any really hobby or passion into a profitable business. Because there's what, 7-8 billion people in the world?
Yeah, a whole lot.
You only need, I think, 1,000 true followers, they say, to really turn something into a business. Yeah. But so a question I've been wanting to ask you, or more or less talk about, was, so not only are you building your business, but you're also doing it in French as well as English. How much extra time does that take you?
To do that in both languages? Mm-hmm. Actually, it saves me so much time.
Really?
It's just that I need to switch. Like, I'm just like, okay, now I'm speaking French, but it's just like, I find an idea about a video. I'm just like, okay, today I'm going to talk about how to do back rolls. And it's one of the first moves that people want to do when they're good at kite surfing. They're just like, okay, now I want to jump. What can I do? I want to do like cool stuff. So let's talk about how to do back rolls. And I'm just doing a video about back rows in English, and then this, or in French. And then the second one is in the other language. And it's even better because I'm just like, oh, the last video, I forgot to talk about this. So I'm going to talk about that in this one, or I turn it this way. And I'm so passionate about kite surfing that I mostly don't take notes. Like sometimes I have like a little post-it on my cell phone to make my video, just to make sure I don't forget some things. But most of the time I'm just like, I know what I want to talk about, and just like, let's do it. And so for one idea, I make 2 videos. Okay. So that's kind of cool. And I have like 2 different audiences, and I have different groups I can share to. So I have different groups of kite surfing of like French speakers, and I have other groups for English speakers. So I have like, I kind of double my audience with that.
That's great.
That's interesting. Yeah, I like that. Cool. What else do you have for her? I see a whole bunch of notes down there.
Oh, good.
Okay, well then I'll jump in here. I want to talk more about the business piece, because I find that, I just like, we kind of went through the fact that when you do it with your time, and we know it's your hobby, but what else can you tell us about the business? What is it like? I know you do a lot of kite surfing videos. Are you also doing product reviews? Are you sponsored by anybody with your kite surfing? Because you've been doing it for, so long. I'm not sure if you've been competitive. What other areas are you looking for as far as building your business within the kite surfing niche?
But actually, I'm a lot about promoting education online platforms. So if people like I'm talking a lot about kite surfing on my YouTube channel, but I'm also teaching people what they could do if they want to improve or start their online business. So I'm a lot about education platform. So if people want to start their online business, I give them the link of the training I took because I think it's something that you can really trust, and you can have a really good mentor. And so that's the way I tweak it. I'm just like, if you want to kite surf as much as you want, then you can join that platform and just take the training and get into work. So that's how I tweak it. And I'm already having like a good like partnership with a kite surf. It's not a sponsor, but it's someone that like provide me with kites for really, really good price. Okay. But I'd say that in the kite surfing world, it's really hard to get sponsorship. Most of the time there are just like really high level pro kiters that get their like gear for free, but it's really rare that you're going to see like kite surfers getting paid for the work they do. Okay. Mostly they get paid with t-shirts and sandals. And
so that's interesting what you mentioned about the gear, because I was thinking about, product reviews. I guess I'm not, I just think about some of the industries that I've kind of messed around in, whether it's biking or different things. They'll sometimes, like you had mentioned, give you reduced rates on gear or let you test gear. So that's also pretty cool too, and then, doing product reviews on that kind of stuff. So I wasn't sure about the sponsorship piece, but do you do anything with like any kind of GoPro? Do you capture all live stuff when you're kite surfing, or, any of that stuff when you're doing this?
Actually, I have to get a really good, like a good GoPro. I used to have one, and now it's really outdated. But yeah, I'm gonna have a great GoPro for this summer, so I can shoot really awesome shots.
Yeah, and that'd be cool to see you wearing it, like the waves, and when you get lifted up, and all those different things you do. I was like, oh, that would be neat to see it from like that first person view. So that's cool.
Yeah, okay. Definitely looking at those videos. Which, by the way, we will have links in our description below to Marie's YouTube and all of her other platforms. So make sure that you check her out there. You mentioned you also talk about education and entrepreneurial education so that you can do whatever your hobby is, have more time for that. Have you gone through a lot of different educational courses? Have you found good or bad, or what's been your experience in that aspect?
Actually, my first experience was to try to find everything for free online. And I think it's something that everybody does at the beginning. They're just like, I'm not going to pay for a course. I can manage everything by myself, and then I can lose a lot of time. So I think that's what a lot of people do. They try to manage everything, and they end up like saying, okay, I'm going to take a course. I took some trainings. I got disappointed in different trainings, and I got involved maybe too quickly in one without really knowing what it was about. And then I switched to the training that I'm having right now, and I'm always been I almost went through the whole training. But what I really like is that it's not just a training, it's a community of people that really, really support each other. And as soon as you have a question, there's like 35 people answering your question. And then you can be the one answering questions after that, like if you've been through that issue. So it's really like people helping people, but you always have like the mentors and the coach that are there to answer your questions as well in your post, or you have a training like every Thursday night. You can join the training, and it's always like bringing new stuff and new knowledge. Like I have so many things that I took notes in my cell phone when I was following the training, and I don't even have time to go through all the tools and things that they tell us about because it's so rich. And I'm just like, I cannot follow because they give us so much value. So I think it's really, really important to take the proper training, follow the steps, and then you're going to just reduce all the pain and suffering of starting a business. Because I think what people forget is that when you want to start an online business or any business, or if you want to start kiting or anything, you need to put into work. It's not going to happen overnight. Sometimes I'm just saying, like, if you want to become like a pro rugby player, you're not going to go for a swim every day. You're going to like play rugby. Yes. So you have to put into work. You have to take action into the right direction. So taking a training, and it's going to be in my links, I think. So people can check it out. And it's super important to find something that resonates with your values and your core values, because if you follow a training with someone that is just like completely the opposite of what you are, it's just going to be hard to trust that person.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't want to be the spoiler, but Marie and I and Megan are all in the same community. That's actually how we met. So the Entre community. And exactly to what she said is we love the community. Yes, there's amazing training, and that's kind of how we got started as well. But that's how we met Marie, is through the community, and we look through and we see all these people who do amazing things, and that's how we're just like, wow, look at that. Like, I didn't know a thing about kite surfing. I saw it once or twice, and I'm like, but now I actually know somebody who's an instructor who's done it all around the world, and we get to interview her. So it's like we've enjoyed that as well. And, the training, we're the same, we haven't been through it all, but I think you had said it once before, is, every day take that consistent, imperfect action. I think that was one of the things I had read you had wrote. And I was like, that is so true, right? Because nothing's perfect, and we're going to get better just by doing this every day. And so like Marie said, all her information will be down below in the description. And there's a link there to, if you guys out there want to, follow that path and understand how you can turn your hobby, like the challenge Megan gave, and turn that into an online business like Marie's doing, like we're doing. Entre is an amazing platform, and Jeff Lerner, the guy you probably see all over, is extremely authentic. We've had the pleasure, meeting him and talking to him, and it's just, it's a great community. So absolutely didn't want to go off on the tangent there, but I wanted to be completely transparent. That's kind of where we met. So I think it's a great point that, there's other folks in the community that we've interviewed, and you've probably seen other folks that we want to interview. We want to learn about living in Costa Rica. So we're going to interview somebody who could teach us about that, so, but yeah, absolutely. So go ahead. I know you have some other stuff, but I was just kind of wanted to be completely transparent, let everybody know, like, hey, Entre is an amazing place, and we have met some amazing people. Obviously Marie and her talent and her skills. So, but go ahead.
So Marie, I know you have, somewhere you need to be at some point, so we don't want to take too much of your time, but is there anything else that you want our viewers to know, before we let you run off today?
Actually, I'd like to say that if people want to start online, don't go for the easy shit. because it's really not good. Like I was really, it's really always tempting to see these guys jumping in a private jet, and it's probably like completely fake, or jumping into a Lamborghini that they rented for a weekend, and they're just taking picture in front of a villa, but they cannot go in because they just cannot afford to rent it. So don't go for the easy stuff. Go for the proper training, because you're just going to spend so much money being really disappointed. And if you go for the proper training, you're really investing into yourself, and you're really setting the basics that you need to have in order to be successful online. And it's not overnight success. Everybody's saying that in 1 week they made like $200,000. It may be a little fake. They may be paid to say that. So don't go for that, and just take your passion and talk about it. Like at the beginning, I was trying to go for like my niche was not really something I was passionate about, and it felt really, really much more easier when I got started. But like about talking about kite surfing, because even my friends online, like Wanda, she's in the community as well. She was like, "Oh my God, your videos are so much better since you're talking about kite surfing." Just because I'm just like, woo, it's easy, and you can really definitely like feel what the people, if the people are passionate when they talk about their passion. So just follow your heart, take imperfect action every day, and go for the proper training. Don't go for the easy one that is not going to lead you to anything like that is real.
Well, those are, do you have anything, Steve, you want to
No, those are great words. I was just kind of processing that, because our very similar, I think you're right. So many people like spend hours, weeks online just for the free stuff. And you just waste that time, and time is so precious, because, you want to be out there doing what it is you love. And obviously you love kite surfing, and sharing that love with the world. So, that's so true.
Yeah, it's obvious that you are, you're living your passion, because your energy just comes through. Our whole conversation before we started, recording here, and even during, like, obviously all of you watching, you can tell the energy and the love that she has for what Marie is doing. So all of Marie's links will be in the description below, so be sure to check her out. Continue to hustle for your excellence, and we'll see you on the next video.